today's headlines. Party chief calls for urgent policy reforms. And later on, Vietnam urged to balance trade relations with the U.S. Hello and welcome to today's headlines, our daily bulletins on the most notable news of the day. You're with me, Didin Lei. And on the top of today's news, this afternoon, the Central Steering Committee on Science, Technology, Innovation and Digital Transformation held its second meeting, chaired by Party General Secretary Tô Lâm, with Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính in attendance. Key tasks have been progressed with concrete results in the month since the first meeting. Beside positive achievements, Party General Secretary Tô Lâm highlighted key challenges, including underperforming institutions, talent shortages, underinvestment in infrastructure, and limited tech application in governance. The party chief called for urgent policy reforms to ensure swift, synchronized implementation of Resolution 57 within the second quarter for impactful change. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính held a dialogue with ASEAN businesses on Tuesday afternoon, marking his 8th meeting with the business community in a week. During the dialogue, leading ASEAN corporations and businesses hoped to expand their investments to support the country's sustainable growth. In response, the Prime Minister acknowledged the support from ASEAN partners and urged them to expand production, transfer advanced technologies, and assist in training high-quality human resources and smart management. The leader also encouraged collaboration in various fields, as well as promoted ASEAN unity. In another dialogue with South Korean businesses, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính thanked South Korea and its businesses for consistently supporting Vietnam's development, contributing to the advancement of the comprehensive strategic partnership. Despite the recent overall decrease in international investment globally, South Korea's investment in Vietnam continued to grow. The Prime Minister expressed hope that Korean businesses will partner with Vietnam to achieve economic growth of 8% or more this year and further expand their activities in Vietnam, especially in high-tech and emerging technology projects. He also requested that enterprises increase their localization rate, support Vietnam's cultural industry's development, actively participate in innovation centers, and establish research and development centers in the country. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính views on Vietnam-U.S. economic relations have received support from the American business community in Vietnam. Vietnam is one of the key and consistent contributors to the supply chain of U.S. enterprises, effectively supporting investment activities. This puts Vietnam in a position to move towards achieving balanced trade between the two nations.
Vietnamese consumers strongly prefer U.S. imports. Despite their higher prices, these products remain in great demand, with logistics companies seeing a steady flow of import orders. Therefore, the Prime Minister recently directed the Ministry of Finance to review tax policies to ensure a balanced and mutually beneficial trade relationship between the two countries.
The customs clearance time varies depending on the type of goods, but overall, the process is being supported very efficiently. Import businesses like us hope for more favorable tax policies to import more U.S. products.
Previously, during a dialogue with U.S. corporations and investors, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính urged local authorities in both countries to address the legal challenges faced by U.S. partners. The U.S. is one of Vietnam's largest import markets, with high-value goods such as aircraft, electronic machinery, and advanced technology needed for U.S. chip manufacturing production in Vietnam.
A lot of U.S. multinationals and financial investors remain very interested in consumer-related markets, financial services, education, healthcare, in terms of some of the broader, more ambitious targets.
According to U.S. President Donald Trump's reciprocal tax policy approach, a matching import tax system could ensure fair trade. The U.S. ASEAN Business Council also sees little concern over policy responses at this time.
The average U.S. import tariff on Vietnamese goods is 3.1%, while Vietnam's tariff on U.S. goods is 3.3%, both relatively low. During the review process, the US considers tariff rates and non-tariff measures, including trade barriers.
Vietnam and the US are comprehensive strategic partners with complementary economies, pursuing healthy competition. In the coming days, the government will review policies to ensure balanced trade and introduce new measures aligned with current US policies.
Coming up next, Vietnam and the UK to boost collaboration to combat human trafficking. And state president's 2025 amnesty decisions announced. In other news, this morning, while receiving the UK Home Office, Permanent Secretary Simon Ridley, General Lương Tam Quang, member of the Politburo and Minister of Public Security, applauded the outcomes of the third Vietnam-UK migration dialogue between the Ministry of Public Security and the UK Home Office. The Vietnamese minister urged the active implementation of these signed cooperation documents to combat human trafficking and share immigration information and migration issues. The Prime Minister requested the UK Home Office facilitate legal residence, employment and study opportunities for Vietnamese citizens in the UK. A press conference took place in Hanoi on March the 4th to announce the state president's amnesty decision, marking the upcoming 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South and national reunification on April the 30th. A notable change in this amnesty round is the required imprisonment period for eligible individuals. Specifically, prisoners serving fixed-term sentences must have completed at least one-third of their sentence, while life-sentenced prisoners whose sentences have been commuted to fixed terms must have served at least 14 years. Since 2009, the state has conducted 10 amnesty rounds on major national occasions, granting clemency to nearly 100,000 inmates with good records of rehabilitation, work, and study. To reiterate, the amnesty policy is the humane policy of the party and the government. And so far, it has created opportunities for tens of thousands of prisoners to return to society before the end of their sentences. About 9,500 former inmates have been allowed to borrow more than $30.5 million to set up businesses. Hải Dương province notes that this policy has shown remarkable effectiveness.
Thanks to the policy loan, this man had the opportunity to build a chicken farm. After the recent Tate holiday, he earned nearly $8,000 in profit. As a former inmate, the policy loan was a trust and an opportunity for him to rebuild his life.
I received an initial loan of nearly $4,000 to invest in a chicken farm and have made a lot of profit from it.
He got a loan and created a stable income, which helped the people around him trust him more.
Creating livelihoods and jobs for those who have completed their prison sentences is an effective and quick measure to help them reintegrate into the community and not reoffend. With nearly $4,000 of a policy loan, this man invested in building a banana farm and a fish pond. This year, both the banana farm and the fish pond will yield a harvest.
I am truly grateful to the party, the state, and the policy bank for helping me overcome the difficulties I encountered when I first returned from prison.
Through monitoring, we found that the loan recipients used the capital for the correct purpose, effectively stabilizing their family economy and contributing to the local economy.
Hai Giong is one of the localities that has focused more than $1.73 million of policy capital on creating jobs for former inmates. This year, the province will continue prioritizing the budget through the Bank for Social Policies to implement this humanitarian program.
On Tuesday, thousands of officers and soldiers from the Ministry of National Defense conducted preparations for the 50th anniversary of Southern Liberation and National Reunification Day. The joint training session for the event involves forces from different military regions, including Navy, Air Force, Special Forces, and female militia. The soldiers have now entered Phase 2 training, and by April the 6th, they expect to complete the remaining components and prepare for the Phase 3 training in Ho Chi Minh City, which will include joint exercises with other units nationwide. According to the plan, the parade celebrating the 50th anniversary of National Reunification Day will take place on the morning of April the 30th on Lê Duẩn Street, District 1, Ho Chi Minh City. Vietnam has just been nominated by the Asia-Pacific Group for the position of chair of the 35th Conference of State Parties to the United Nations Conventions on the Law of the Sea, or SPLOS. The position will be officially be elected just before the meeting scheduled for June the 23rd to the 27th at the UN headquarters in New York. If elected, this will be the first time Vietnam has assumed the chairmanship of the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea since becoming a member in 1994. Taking on the role of chair of SPLOS 35 offers Vietnam an opportunity to affirm its position as a responsible member state of UNCLOS and make substantial contributions to global oceans and sea governance. Before I say goodbye, let's have a look at the weather forecast. Thank you for watching today's headline. To rewatch our program, you can visit our website or YouTube channel or downloadable web VTVgo for more. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.